Welcome to Gentle Restorative Yoga Blend. Thanksgiving edition. If this is your first time in this class, you will need some props. There's lots of options. You can have bolsters, pillows, blankets, towels, couch cushions, throw pillows, whatever you've got. So I like to say there are lots of options for your props, or lots of proptions. Proptions, that's options for props, proptions. Yes, I said that. We'll be going through a series of poses this morning. When we get to the restorative and yin poses, we will hold those a little bit longer, and I will be telling you when that's happening. That's where we use our props in many cases. Sometimes the poses that we hold are fine in short periods, but to hold a pose for an extended time can be challenging or uncomfortable. So we want to be as comfortable as possible so we can just relax and melt into these poses this morning. Since it's Thanksgiving, we will talk about gratitude a little bit. Before we start that, let's just get settled into a nice Sukhasana, comfortable seated pose. You might want to sit on a blanket. Get your hips up off the floor. And a warning, when I suggest a blanket, that probably means we'll be kneeling some, and the blanket will be comfortable for our knees as well. We'll start by settling in, rocking back and forth, side to side, grounding our sits bones, trying to find equal pressure on both sides of the body so we can stack the spine up tall and grow up through the spine, lifting and lengthening, lifting the sternum, stacking the spine, rolling the shoulders up and back and down, pressing up through the crown of the head, relaxing hands on thighs, palms up or palms down. Let's close the eyes, find the breath. So perhaps today you'd like to have an intention. I am offering that intention of gratitude. I'll come back to that quite a lot today. But I also want to talk about one of the niyamas, one of the ethical principles of yoga, which is Santosha, which is contentment, which is learning to accept things as they are and to be happy with those things. That ties into gratitude, I think. I think if we can find contentment, we can appreciate what we have more. Let's come now to our centering breath. We accomplish that by breathing twice normally. Followed by a deep inhale, the big exhale, back to 2 normal breaths. And so we cycle 2 normal breaths, 1 deep breath, finding our center. Grounding down through the hips, lifting up through the crown of the head. Let's let our eyes softly open. Let's just grab onto our knees now. We'll lift the chest and arch the back to a gentle seated cow pose. As we exhale, we'll scoop into a gentle seated cat pose. Inhale, lift into cow. Exhale, scoop into cat. As you finish your next round, come back to stillness. Let's switch the cross of our legs. I was thinking about Santosha and gratitude last night, and I came to think about our old metaphor of the glass. Is it half empty or half full? And then I got to thinking about that even, and I thought, we always focus on the contents. We don't always focus on the glass itself. What if that glass represents our expectations? What if our expectations are the problem? What if we live in a big house, but it's not big enough? What if we make a lot of money, but not enough money? What about if people don't treat us the way we think we ought to be treated? What about if we're not the kind of person we think we should be? If we don't look the way we should or act the way we should? Those are our expectations. That's the glass. What if we adjusted our glass? Adjusted our expectations? Suddenly, we might find that it's full and I'm thirsty. And that brings us back to Santosha, to contentment, to appreciating what we have and being happy with what we have. It's a nice day for that. It's a nice year for that. So we don't always have all that we want this time of year, this year in particular. So learning how to be happy with what we have, very helpful. Fingertips down, sternum lifted. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, pressing down. Finding lift and length of the torso. Pressing back down. Next time, just the right arm comes up and over as we inhale. Comes back down as we exhale. Left arm up and over, inhale. Exhale. Just flow with your own breath, letting the inhale tell you that it's time to lift and reach over. Exhale to come back down. Inhale, expanding the side body. Exhale, down. One more time on each side. Coming back to stillness. Let's make half circles around the body with our fingertips. Warming up the spine. Coming to stillness, bringing the right hand to the left thigh, sweeping the left hand behind, inhaling tall, exhaling to turn. Inhale and exhale and twist. Whatever you can do is fine. We have no expectations. We're happy with what we have. Your twist is the best twist you need today. Relax back to center. Left hand to right thigh. We'll sweep the right hand behind, inhaling nice and tall. Exhaling, take that twist. Whatever you do is perfect. It's your twist, it's your day. Relaxing back to center. Let's come to a shoelace pose now. You're welcome to leave your legs crossed if that's the most comfortable thing for you. You might also want to come to just a kneeling pose, sitting back on your heels. If you're doing this, you might want to slide some rolled up towels under your ankles or a blanket under your knees. I'm going to use my cross leg pose here, so I'm going to bring my left leg around and over. So I've got my left knee on top of my right knee. This is an option, not required. So find whatever seated position is comfortable and that works for you. Extend the arms out to the side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release and round forward, letting the head hang, breathing and sinking. Let's stay here for about 5 breaths. As we finish our 5 breaths, we can sit up. If we have our legs crossed in any way, we can switch the cross of our legs here. Stack tall, release rounding forward, relax the head and neck, let the head hang. 5 breaths. Sitting up, we can uncross our legs. We can straighten those legs out and shake them out. Let's come into a caterpillar pose. Now that's a forward fold, a seated forward fold. So you might want to have a blanket to sit on to get your hips up off the floor. I recommend a couple of rolled up towels to go under the knees so they don't get locked out and uncomfortable as we hold this pose. Now this will be a supported forward fold. So I'm going to pile stuff onto my thighs here so I can lean forward with a long spine. Not a lot of rounding in the spine for this one, more length. That's what the props give us, is that support to maintain length. So use as much or as little as you'd like to. Okay, we're going to sit up tall and then release and go forward. We can stack our hands and rest the forehead on the hands. We can grab our elbows and rest the forehead on the forearm. Try to find length in your spine. Softly close your eyes. Just melt into the pose. This forward folding pose helps build some heat by kind of closing off the body. Letting us build the heat from our torso. You may want to sort of scan your body for any hidden tension. Relaxing the head, relaxing the neck. For me, it's always the shoulders. I have to consciously remind myself, let those shoulder blades just melt and slide down the back, sliding out to the sides, releasing, relaxing your spine and your core. See if you're holding any tension in your thighs. You might need to release and relax there. Calves, feet. You might want to draw in one deep breath and sigh it out just to let any other tension release out of the body. Just give yourself permission to take this time. Settle in and begin to calm the mind. Let go of the outside world for now. Just make space for yourself. If at any point you become uncomfortable, need to shift something, add something, or take something away, go right ahead. Just a few more breaths here. begin to deepen the breath. Lift ourselves up. We can put those props aside for now. Just want to remind you, the definition of yoga, at least in the Yoga Sutras, is that yoga is the calming of the fluctuations of the mind. So as we're releasing the body, we're also letting the mind quiet and calm down. Let's now come onto our backs. If you have a strap or a belt you'd like to use for some gentle stretching, feel free to grab that. I'm not going to use a strap today, so you don't have to have one either. Lying on the back, we come to constructive rest with our feet planted, a little wider than hip width so the knees can fall inward. Relax the arms down with the palms up. Find the breath. Maybe place one hand on the belly. Practice that belly breathing. Inhaling, expanding the belly. Exhaling, squeezing the air out. Inhaling to expand. Exhaling to squeeze the air out. Inhale, expand. Exhale, release that air. Come back to a normal breath. Just sway the knees from side to side a little bit here. Nice and gentle, nice and easy. Coming back to stillness. Sliding the right leg out. Drawing the left leg in. We'll grab the left thigh with both hands. Or if you have a strap, you want to wrap it around the ball of your foot and hold the strap. It's also an option here. I'm going to draw that knee in and exhale as I push the air out, drawing the leg in. I'm going to inhale, pressing up toward the sky. Exhale, drawing in. Inhale, press up. Think about pushing out through your right heel at the same time. A couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's bring that leg up. Now, with the left hand, we're going to grab the inside of the left thigh. If you've got your strap, hold both ends with your left hand. Bring the right arm out to the side to balance us. We're going to lower that left leg out to the side, whatever we find, whatever works for us today. Opening that hip, breathing and sinking. 5 breaths. Bringing the leg back up. If you've got a strap, you can grab it with your right hand now. Otherwise, bring your right hand to the thigh, your left arm out to the side. Let's take that left leg over toward the right side of the body. The hip can lift, that's okay. The shoulders stay down. 5 breaths. Bring that leg back up. Let's grab with both hands either the strap or behind the thigh or behind the calf. Drawing in, sinking this hip down into the floor. Hamstring stretch. Don't make it painful. Breathe into it. Inhale, and as you exhale, you might find a little more range. Let's release that left leg out and down. Pressing out through the heel, drawing the right leg in. You've got a strap, get around the ball of the foot, hold with both hands to start. No strap, we'll hold the thigh with both hands. Inhale, exhale, squeezing the belly. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, squeezing the belly with the leg. Inhale. For 3, for 2, for 1. Now if you've got that strap, you can hold at both ends with your right hand, otherwise right hand to thigh. In any case, left hand out to the side. Let's take that right leg out and down, opening that right hip. 5 breaths. Let's inhale that leg back up. If you've got a strap, grab both ends with the left hand. Otherwise, grab the left hand, grab the right thigh. Right arm goes out to the side. Right leg comes across the body. 5 breaths. Bring it back to center. Let's let that right hip sink into the floor. We'll hold behind the thigh or calf. We'll inhale and exhale to draw the leg in. Deepen the hamstring stretch. Draw that leg in. Let's plant the foot with that left knee bent. Excuse me, the right knee bent. I'm reversing it because I'm mirroring you. Crossing the left ankle over the right leg. My left knee is open. It's like a number 4. That's why we call it a 4 stretch, or sometimes we call it a supine pigeon, or even a supine cradle the baby. I'm going to lift the right leg and grab the right thigh with both hands. Draw in. I can lightly press my left elbow against my left inner thigh here, opening that hip even more. A couple of breaths here. I'm bringing that right foot back down. I'm sliding my left knee over my right knee. Arms out to the side, shoulder blades grounded. Dropping my legs to the right with the left leg on top. Gentle spinal twist here. Option to bring that right hand over to the left side. So my knees roll to the right, my arms drape to the left, my head turns to the left, shoulders grounded, just melting into spinal twist. Lifting back up, uncrossing legs, hugging the thighs in, locking out a little bit. Now bringing that left foot down with the left knee bent, the right ankle over the left leg, the right knee open like our number 4. Grabbing that left thigh with both hands, hugging in. Perhaps we're pressing the right elbow against the right inner thigh. Opening that right hip a tiny bit more. Supine pigeon, 4 stretch. Lower that left foot down, sliding the right knee over the left knee, arms out to the side, dropping the legs to the left with the right leg on top. Option to bring that left arm over the right side, head turning to the right. So arms to the right, knees to the left, melting into spinal twist. Lifting legs back to center, uncrossing. Hugging the thighs in, folding the legs in a circle 3 times one direction. Reversing other direction. Let's move now into a supported bridge pose. We're going to need something to slide under the lower back. Could be something as low as a blanket or a towel. Could be something higher like a block or a pillow or a bolster. It's whatever's going to work for you. A block's a nice option if you have one. I'll go with that today, actually. So coming to bridge with our feet planted about hip width apart. Ideally, our heels are close enough that we could brush them with our fingertips. We're grounding into our feet, our heels, and also into our shoulder blades. Please keep the neck relaxed. Please don't put any pressure on the neck or head for our bridge pose. We're going to lift the hips and slide a block or a cushion or a pillow, whatever we have, under the sacrum and lower down, finding a nice supported bridge pose. This is a mild inversion. If you're using a block, you've got options here. You've got this low level that I'm on now, this flat level. You can also go on end for a little bit more height. On the other end, even more height. Find what works for you today. Arms can be down at your sides or straight out to the sides. Or even if you want more sensation up over your head, you'll find more openness here. Your choice. Please be comfortable. Let your eyes softly close. Let's practice some heart-focused breathing here. Imagine, if you will, drawing your breath through the heart. Expanding the chest, opening the heart. Perhaps focusing on gratitude, those things that fill your heart, make you happy. They can be big things. They can be small things. They say that neurons that fire together, wire together, which means we create pathways in our brain, and we strengthen those pathways with the things we practice, the things we think repeatedly. So if we can consciously learn to focus on gratitude, on contentment, on finding that state of mind, you'll train the brain to work in those pathways better, more often, more strength. I've always felt that as we get older, we become more of whatever we are. And I think this idea of firing together and wiring together helps explain that. It's like we dig ruts in our brain, the way we think about things and the things we do. We have these mental habits. But we can learn to create better habits, happier, healthier habits. I think gratitude is one of those things we can practice. We know that practicing gratitude builds resilience, makes us more aware of our support system, the people that we care about who care about us. A simple technique is to start a gratitude journal every day. Just write down 3 things that you appreciate, things that make your life better. And train yourself to think in that way, to look for the good things. You're going to find the things you look for. So look for good things and find good things. We'll take a few more breaths here. As we feel ready, we can bring our arms down to our sides, grounding into our feet and our shoulder blades. We'll lift up and remove whatever prop we're using. We'll lower back down. Let's hug knees to chest to release the back. We can roll to one side. Press ourselves up to a comfortable seat. If you want to bring your blanket back under to kneel on, it'll be more comfortable. Stepping the left foot forward. You can bring the hands to the left thigh. You might want to cheek that foot a little further forward so we can press the hips forward. Find some openness here in the right hip, in the quads, in our Anjane Asana. We might want to come to prayer hands. Roll our shoulders back and open up to cactus arms. We can extend our arms up, sinking the hips forward and down. Breathing, relaxing. Couple of breaths. It takes time for these muscles to relax and these joints to open. And then pressing back, we'll flex the front foot, we'll come forward into Hanumanasana. Nice option here if you've got blocks or something you want to use to elevate yourself off the floor a little bit. Control how low you go. Inhaling the spine nice and long, or exhaling to sink down. Feeling stretch in the hamstrings. Again, a few breaths here. Give these joints time to open, these muscles time to stretch. Now sliding back forward, we're going to come into a dragon pose or a lizard pose. Bring the hands inside that left foot. Sliding forward. Long spine, perhaps sinking lower if we like, and perhaps bringing a block or a cushion or a bolster. Another option here is to let your left knee fall out to the side and come to the edge of your foot, and lower into your stretch that way. Breathing, lengthening out through the crown of the head, opening the hip, sinking into it. 5 breaths. You need not come down to your forearms. You may stay up on your hands. If you're on your hands, you might want to make fists. That might be more comfortable for your wrists. There's always options here. So I'll come up onto our hands and rise up. We'll step that left leg back. Come to a kneeling. We'll step the right foot forward now. As far as we need to move that foot to be able to shift forward and open that left hip a little bit here for Anjane Asana. Hands can be on the thigh. Let's keep the chest lifted if we can. Roll the shoulders. Option for prayer hands. Option cactus arms. Option extended arms up. Breathing and sinking. Now we're opening that left hip, that back hip. Sinking into it, feeling stretched down into the quads. Easy, relax, melt into it. Now shifting back to Hanumanasana, flexing that right foot, lengthening the spine, folding forward, coming to blocks if we like. Inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to press a little deeper, finding the hamstring stretch. Now shifting forward, bringing our hands inside the right foot, option to make fists, lengthen the spine, sinking forward, perhaps lowering down into a block or bolster, or even to the floor if that's your practice. The lizard pose or dragon pose, same thing. Option to drop that right knee out to the side, holding onto the outside edge of that right foot. 5 breaths. Planting our hands, rising back up, stepping back to kneeling. Let's move now to a supported twist. I'm going to use my bolster, so if you've got a long cushion you can use, so if you don't have a single long cushion, a couple of shorter ones end to end, we're going to want to have support for the torso and the head here. So I'm going to sit sideways in my bolster, just drop my hip. So I'm tucked up right against my bolster here. We'll do both sides, so you can go either way to begin. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine. Exhale, turning towards your bolster. Let's frame the bolster with our hands. Inhale to lengthen once more. Exhale, lowering down with that gentle supported twist. And put your hands up on the bolster. You can turn your head in the same direction as your knees. We're going to hang out here for just a few minutes. And close your eyes. Relax into the twist. Come back to your breath. Come back to your intention. By bringing our hands down to frame that bolster or cushion once again, we can gently press ourselves back up. You can turn around. You can move your bolster to the other side, whatever works best for your situation. So as before, we draw that bolster right into the hip. We'll inhale tall. We'll exhale and turn, framing the bolster. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lowering down. Finding that nice, gentle, supported twist. Relaxing into it. Coming back to the breath. Deepening our breath. Once again, bring our hands down to the floor to frame the bolster or cushion, and press ourselves back up. Next, we'll do one of my favorites, which is Supta Baddha Konasana. That's the reclined butterfly pose. You can do this on your back or propped up. If you're going to be on your back, you might want to have a couple of rolled up blankets or towels that you can put under your legs for support. Because again, we'll hold this for a few minutes, so it might become uncomfortable over time. Actually, you can use the same idea, the same kind of blankets rolled up if you're on the incline as well. So, if you've got blocks, you can use blocks to make a little ramp for yourself. If you don't have blocks, you can pile up other cushions, whatever you've got. You could prop a bolster against a chair, sofa, or wall. Just find a way to get a little bit of angle here with your bolster. Now, I'm going to slide the hips up here, so right up against it, and bring the soles of the feet together. Typically, we would say that you'll have your feet, your heels, about the distance of one of your feet from your torso. You can adjust this to your comfort level. This is a restorative pose. It should be comfortable. One option here, if you have one blanket, is to roll it up like a long noodle. Take it over your ankles and tuck it under. This will also help support your legs. Or, what I'm going to do today, I have two blankets. I'm going to roll them both up. Put them under my knees. So as I am in my pose for an extended period of time, I don't get too much stress on my inner thighs. So, with or without the ramp, with or without the blankets, whatever you've got going, lie back. Settle in. Relax the legs. Relax the abdominals. Let the shoulders melt down. Arms can come down. If you'd like to put pillows under your arms, that's also a nice option. Your arms just shouldn't be hanging in space, so if they're not supported, please support them. Softly close the eyes. Focus on breath. Find your intention once again. If you're finding your bliss in this pose and want to stay here for final relaxation, please go right ahead. If your thighs have had enough of Supta Baddha Konasana, you might just want to extend your legs out, maybe put one of your rolled up blankets behind your knees, and settle back in here, kind of an incline variation of Shavasana. If you'd like to push the bolsters and supports aside and lie on your back for normal Shavasana, it's also an option. Just find whatever works for you. Allow any random thoughts to pass through, acknowledge them, let them go. Step back, try to be the observer of your mind, of your thoughts. Try to separate yourself from the contents of your mind. Bring awareness to the breath and go deeper. Tuning our breath, bringing awareness back to the body, gently moving fingers and toes, perhaps circling wrists and ankles one direction and the other. If we're lying on our backs, we can roll to one side. Wherever we are, we can begin to press ourselves up, removing any props as necessary, making our way back to our comfortable seated pose. Grounding down, rising up, bringing prayer hands to heart center. Let's revisit our intention one last time. If it was to experience gratitude or contentment, let's just take a moment to experience it once again and carry that feeling with us. I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I wish you contentment and gratitude always. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.